Now, finally, we get the takeaways, which I specifically say for its own video because if you hadn't watched the first two, this is going to seem like an out there conspiracy type thing. And I'd like to build credibility before I end up going that route. Like I said, I think it was propped up because it was so unorganized, so chaotic, so unstructured, and there was a lack of cohesiveness across the groups. When I looked and I saw only 2 minority groups basically being represented across 5 different organizations that all went to help and take part in this, I realized very quickly this is not going to go anywhere. Nothing's going to get done. And the fact that they keep emphasizing the lack of violence, when in all seriousness, violence is the only way to get an answer. The history has shown us that these minority groups, even in particular, have had to resort to violence in order for any progress to be made. Now, I do advocate for violence, unlike a lot of other human beings. I'll fucking freely say that shit. If you strongly believe in something, you should be willing to die for it. If you're willing to die for it, you've earned the right to kill for it. But I don't care enough about most of these issues that I'm going to do that. The handful of issues I do care about is potentially getting involved in Israel. That is something I will die for, and that leads to the other thing that I would be willing to do for it. We're not going to get involved in that shit. Anyway, takeaway aside from that, there is a serious amount of weakness in our culture today that keeps believing peace can be had without cost. And if these minority groups have taught me anything, it's that they are always going to remain minority groups. And I don't mean that in the sense of they're always going to be the small representation. They're always going to be the stepped on, the downtrodden, and the people who don't fucking matter. Some of them are because they're not even citizens of the United States. I served this country, so I served United States citizens. I did not serve every single human being who exists in America. I say that as a prior service member and as a first-generation American on a Mexican-born family. My family earned the right, legally, to live and reside here. I served this country in a small portion to give thanks for that, because I'm the only immediate family member who has served in my family. So when I think there's a massive issue going on with the ICE and illegal and the immigration and shit like that, think about everything that I'd said in the past couple of videos and realize nothing's going to change if we don't be proactive in these situations. And they're advocating for peace. Peaceful protest isn't going to do anything except anger people like me who are proactive or willing to be proactive, who can actually do something about it. And that's going to lead to a false flag event, which I believe is what everyone on the right-wing spectrum had thought was going to happen, and it didn't, because they're all fucking weak.